up too, 17-14.
14. Well, I mean, they still in the
Yeah.
hunt.
That's good.
They still in the hunt right there, man.
Yeah.
The Vikings are in the hunt. I know the Cowboys are in the hunt.
Yeah, Cowboys we talking about. Vikings 5-8.
Yeah.
If they
Cowboys.
win today,
I mean,
if they win tonight, they ain't really helping.
I mean, it really ain't because the Eagles won, so they too far behind anybody else. So their only hope kind of it just feels like that they got to win the division. You got San Fran, you got Detroit, you got Seahawks. Yeah, they lead the division, and no, they're not. No, they're not. It's the Rams. So yeah, man, I don't think Dallas
Rams
get in
on.
there, man. Way to lead on those Giants, too,
Yeah,
buddy.
and
I'm glad you said that, man, because I really don't like to talk about football. I really don't. I really do not like to talk about football.
Hey, man.
It's not fun anymore to me.
It's
not
it's
exciting
never
anymore.
fun when your team ain't playing well, man. That just rules the whole
Yeah.
season for me. I'm not a person who can
it's
watch
right.
sports, that sport when my team is doing well. I just check out to the next season. I can't do it.
I'm done.
I
well,
can't do
good
it.
thing
I
that
can't.
the Bears are doing good right now. The Bears are doing great right now.
Once every 10 years we good.
Is it?
Can't be consistent like Denver. Yeah, exactly. Best team in the
Are we
league.
really
Best record in the
consistent?
league.
Are we?
Hey, you're doing pretty well,
How
sir.
many games is that in a row?
I believe 11.
That's the definition of consistency, sir. What the hell? Yeah, they are consistent, buddy. But
I have Knicks in my fantasy, so I'm actually following that part. So
see, that's the only thing that can keep somebody in there is if you like
that's
fantasy
the only
football.
thing
Yeah,
that
that's
keeps
the
me
only
involved.
thing.
Yeah.
Like my neighbor, he about to we kind of set up for like next year. I'm making on his group and try to do the fantasy football. They got a little cash prize, pretty decent prize for that. So I'm trying to get in on that. But yeah, man, team gotta be willing to get into it, man. But man, we on, man. We on. What it look like? What pod is this? Smooth. What pod is this?
14. We are back again. This is Off the Parkway podcast. It's me, your host, James. Right next to me, Big Sue. And we got a guest in the house, Sue.
Yeah.
We got the man, the myth, the legend.
Hold up. Son.
Yes, indeed. We got
Relax. No need.
We're starting
need.
off wrong.
Yeah. No need.
the
He's regular.
man, the
He's
myth,
regular.
the legend.
Regular.
Is
he? Yes. Don't start.
Really?
Don't start.
Regular.
He's out there saving these streets, these homeless streets. He's putting people in homes. What you got to say about that?
You've done that too.
Nah.
For years.
Like I said, we got a guest, and that man is Mr. Lamar right there, buddy. Right, Jersey City's own.
What's going on, man? How you feeling?
Pretty good, man. Life is good, brother. After retirement, it's good, man. Just focusing on the business, the kids. It's good, man. I'm blessed. It's all good.
So let me ask you, Lamar. Like, so have you been keeping up with the pod? I mean, we pretty new. We're 14 episodes in. I mean, we've been kind of gaining a little bit of ground, slowly but surely. But have you been able to catch any clips, any episodes?
I have seen some clips, and they're all about sports. So for me, the ones that I did catch, but it's not, it's not doing it for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, man. I think that I know we talked about it before. how we want to get, people on the pod and just talk about different things because, yeah, we talk a lot about sports, what I mean? But it's current events, things that's going on in the world. What I mean? Sometimes we might talk about something that's happened in the political landscape that I ain't gonna act like we know it like some pundit out there that's like really knowledgeable on the things, but we'll try to talk about as much as it can just to kind of give our perspective, anything on entertainment, pop culture, whatever it is. So, although we heavily, get into sports, but we talk about a lot of different things, and bringing somebody on like yourself, hey man, if you, we've been saying it for a while. We want to talk about different things. We want to be as broad as possible, man. And I think having people on like yourself can give us a different perspective and give us some more, some more things to talk about, man.
Hey
Most
man, I'm open to
definitely.
that.
You know what I mean? We definitely are just not we definitely just not all sports. We talk about a whole bunch of different topics. I mean, usually the sports is a love language, I mean, to everybody because everybody loves sports. And that usually give us the most engagement with the people. So,
Hmm.
we usually go back and forth debating on sports and people like it. We get a lot of feedback from it. But we definitely want to talk about more stuff like how it is to be, a fatherhood, just everyday life, not too much more to politics, but the politics is always there. There's a lot of stuff going on now in this world, so we got to talk about that as well. But we definitely like to get more into the New Jersey stuff, things that's going on in our backyards and stuff like that too. So, it's good to have you on so we could talk about, what you see what's going on, that's all.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
man.
you you just mentioned just now something that is a really a topic that we all are going through, and it's fatherhood. And I don't know if we were ever prepared
Yeah.
for for what we are going through as fathers. And probably something like this conversation that we can have right now actually is what do we do? Like, how do we prepare the next father or the next generation? Because I don't know if we were prepared for it, to be honest with you.
Mm.
There's a lot of things that we're figuring out
Yeah, I
as
mean,
we
so
as
that's
we
so many
go.
ways you can. Mhm.
He's still talking?
No, I'm not. No, I didn't say anything.
Well, I think he might be like kind of going in and out. Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Okay, okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, nah. I mean,
Go
like
ahead, Sue.
fatherhood, and it sounded like he was saying, what's the next step? You know what I mean? And like in our journey in fatherhood, like no, like you kind of said, like nobody kind of prepared us for this. But for one thing, I can say, I mean, y'all my brothers. I've known you guys for decades at this point. And what I do know is that anybody I'm around ain't nothing but the best kind of father, man. You know what I mean? So I've seen it I've seen it in action. I know y'all kids, and I know that the type of young men and young ladies they turning out to be is directly related to the work that you're putting in as a parent. So no matter how much we was or wasn't prepared for fatherhood, you know what I'm saying? I think that we doing a hell of a job. Um, I think parenting, man, a lot of that stuff is just instinct, man. You know what I mean? It's instinct, just knowing what to do, kind of having a feel for it, and it's based off of our experiences and how we grew up, what we seen, what we know not to do, in the places that we grown up in, man, like we seen firsthand what these bad decisions where it can lead to. So it's easy to kind of, I ain't gonna say easy, no, but it gives you a blueprint on how at least the direction you want to go to when you talk about parenting and what to do and how to make things work and how to go forward with it. So I mean, man, we doing a good job, man. But there is another part to this whole here. As we get through the adolescent stage, teenage stage, and as they start to grow and to be adults. That's going to be the next part that we're going to have to start dealing with soon enough.
Yeah, for me, it was, there's no blueprint for fatherhood, and I'd never seen, even with my father growing up, I didn't, me, I knew for myself, I wanted to be, I guess, better than he was. You know what I mean? That's your goal, is to be better than the original version. You should say that. Because, and I know probably for my son, as he grows older, that he will see things that he will want to do better as a father. You know what I mean? So I just knew that I wanted to be there more for my kids than my father was. I know that he worked a lot, but he had his other things going on as well. So I wanted to be more into their lives and to mold them the right way so they won't fall into fall into the streets, or anything that can lead them into a negative path. So my thing was, I wanted to, I guess, be strict so they can understand right from wrong, but then also didn't want them to be confused with, you're so strict that you're not able to hear their concerns. So I definitely try to leave a open door policy for them, but also I didn't want them to believe that I'm just their best friend too. You know what I mean? So, it's that gray area you want to play with, as, you don't want them to be so free, but then you want them to be free to tell you anything as well.
Hmm.
It was, um, it was a whole process, man, of just, with two girls, it's a little bit, the girls were a little bit easier. Me, the boy, of course, my son was a little bit more of a little bit more of a
Hmm.
challenge. You know what I mean? Like Mr. Nelson blacked out for a second.
UMC, UMC,
But we continue. He'll be back. We'll continue. We'll keep it
UMC.
going. It's his first time using it,
Hmm.
so that's probably the reason. You know what I mean? But yeah, he probably just logging in, logging. See, or he's coming right back right now. As we, oh, there you go. But I should ask you guys this, since what I mean, we made it this far. In the beginning, what was your challenges to try to get a grasp of this fatherhood thing? You can start, Mr. Nelson.
Uh, I would say, well, the challenging part is how to communicate with each child differently, right? Because what it took for my oldest and then for the youngest and it was always something different. So I couldn't father or parent each child the same way. So trying to just figure out how to talk to them and to be relatable was probably one of the challenges I would say that were more difficult. Whereas then I needed to be strict with or harder with Landon versus Dallas. It was just two different ways of how to be parenting. And then when I have Heaven in play, Heaven is a whole nother animal when it comes to trying to figure out how to parent her. And now that she's 20, trying to parent Heaven is really different now. It's like, even though she's 20, you're still parenting. And it's like trying to figure how to let her know, listen, I went down that path before and I got my head bumped a couple times. You don't got to go down that path, but they still take that route is where it's it's tough as a parent and those challenges that you see that I dealt with.
So,
Yeah, I mean, I think Lamar, you said it best that each kid understand that each kid is different, right? Like your kid, if you have multiple kids, they're individual unto themselves. They might have some different, they might have some qualities that are alike. They might do some things that are the same, but they're two different people, two different personalities. they got different triggers. They got things that motivate them, things that push them, and things that, you know, trigger them, and put them in a different space. And you got to kind of know how to adjust and react to it. And that's something that is very important with parenting, is that you got to be able to adjust with your kid. If That's how I look at it. If you are trying to bend them to a way that only fits your needs and what's comfortable for you, then it's going to affect the relationship. It's going to affect how they react to you. It's going to affect different things, and you want to have a balance. So, you know, my daughter in the beginning, through young ages all the way going into preteen, she was super easy. Didn't give me a problem with nothing. You know, did everything that you can imagine. No issues, no trouble in school, no, none of that stuff. High school became a little bit difficult and challenging for her in different ways, whether it's through peers, sports, and different things. So personalities, different things started to change. So kind of had to adjust to that and listen more and try to make sure that communication piece was there, and try to give advice, and not tell what to do, but just like try to have them figure it out, and push through some things. So you're gonna have your failures, you're gonna have your victories, but all in all, you just got to be there through all the process of it. And with my son, he's different. I mean, he's a lot different. In different ways as far as his behavior early on, real young, and he's right now at that about to hit that preteen phase. So, he's in a good space now, but it was some challenges, you know what I'm saying? So you just got to be able to adjust to it. You got to be able to, see what works for one person and see what works for the other, because the same thing ain't gonna work for both. Um, and make it just adjust as you move along, and you'll be able to navigate it through.
I know for me, my challenges was in the beginning was just the whole. See, y'all guys were married, so it's a different thing for y'all. You know what I mean? For me, I wasn't married, so the whole communication with the co-parenting was difficult. In the beginning, because you got the way you want to parent, and she will have the way she wants to parent. And if it doesn't match, when you only see the child a certain days out of the week, what I mean? A lot of things don't get done the way you want it to get done. Now, you might, like, I know, like with Serenity, I thought that I can get more out of her if she was with me, longer, compared to the different styles. But as you grow and get older and wiser as a man, you learn to fight your battles the right way, man. You know that, hey, I'm not going to fight this battle right now. I'm going to concentrate on
Your
this
ba-
and help her
Balance.
on this side of things. Yeah, you got to, because, what I mean, if you keep fighting these battles, you're going to wear yourself out. What I mean? I felt that for myself. I'm like, I'm gonna wear myself out, trying to do this and trying to do that when I can't control it. You know what I mean? Because I'm not there. Certain things in school that you want to control, but you're not around for it. You know what I mean? So, what I mean, just the whole communication, the co-parenting part was most difficult, because Serenity was easy as a kid, man. What I mean? I could say I was blessed with that one. You know what I mean? She was real simple. She didn't give me any hard time or anything like that. She was real easygoing. So that was more of a challenge for me, just the co-parenting and stuff like that. I know it's easier for you married guys, you know what I mean? But for us married-less guys, what I mean, we don't have that option.
Just to jump in real quick, that's not always what it seems. I, Mr. Nelson, you could probably, I'm pretty sure you probably have your own things that you can kind of speak to towards yourself, because when you got two parents, even if they live together, especially if you got strong personalities at hand here, you know what I mean? Everybody think they right. You know what I'm saying? Everybody think they, the way they was raised was the way that you do it and how it should, carry on here, or what didn't work with them is not going to work with their kids, so they don't want to do it, and they see you do something, they might get in the way of the way you doing something. It's not what it seems. Just because you're married is not just going to be some good collaboration that just happens. You know what I mean? Communication has to be on point. It's been many times, and to this day, that me and my wife, we are not on the same page about how we should do things. Now, the key to that is that still look like a unified front when you, in front of the kids, and don't have those disagreements and fights in front of the kids, and try not to. You know what I mean? And that's a challenge in itself. But that ain't that's not as clean as you would think it is, Jay. Trust me, like that's a challenge sometimes, man. And it's like just trying to get people, and especially at least I feel this way, especially for me, because I feel like I come into the situation with a certain knowledge base from. So I grew up in a two-parent household. You know what I mean? My wife didn't. You know what I mean? So I have a different perspective because we're bringing our kids up in a two-parent household. You know what I'm saying? My background, what I do for a living, I fix kids' problems for a living. You know what I mean? Like I've been doing it for 20 plus years. I like when certain things go wrong, structure and how to do certain things. Like I kind of know what to do in these certain situations. So sometimes just getting people to take just to kind of take a back seat and let it be handled my way sometimes is a struggle. You know what I mean? And I think on my end, when things that I'm deficient in and if she's strong in, I'll take a step back. Like when it comes to the kids and their education, she is on it and I'm like, you got it. You know what I mean? Like, whatever the plan is, I'm rocking with you. How you want to do it, like because that's not a strong suit of mine. You know what I mean? But it takes communication with the with your significant other if y'all together.
Yeah, yeah.
Very,
Well, I mean, I say that. Would you say, Miss Nelson?
a, a very important part about that was Sue, when you mentioned that being brought up in two different households, but even like my situation where you know she was brought up in the suburbs. As for us three, we're brought up in urban area, so
Hmm.
our parents parent totally different from a suburb parent versus an urban parent. Whereas in you know letting the kids go out and ride their bikes around town is a thing in the urban area versus in the suburb. You're like riding his bike all across town, like just that dynamic is different in trying to understand, hey, we had that freedom in the urban area. We were able to explore and do more. Whereas in the suburbs, there's a little bit more tighter leash when it came to kids being able to go out and explore. So small little differences like that can cause a friction, even though you're married, but just the fact of being in a separate location in the same state, but you're in a different city and you grew up something totally different. Single parent, um, two parent, it was just the area was just different, and that's how you come up with these big gaps in how to parent.
Hey, 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 Mr. Nelson. So, like, when you say that we was allowed to explore, in the urban areas in ways that people in suburban areas aren't allowed to, and that's probably true. But was that because we was allowed to, or because our parents was working? Because in the urban areas, obviously, the parents worked all the time. Nobody was home. We just did whatever the hell because if our parents knew what the hell we was doing on them bikes and where we was going, no way in hell we would be allowed to do that shit, yo. We was all over the place, yo. In places we ain't had no places being with them bikes, yo. Like, so when you said that, I'm like, like, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but like, yo, like in the suburban communities, you can find them in somebody's home or something like that. Yo, back when we was growing up, all the adults they worked. You know what I mean? Was nobody home? Like, yo, we was out there. We was outside. We was outside, man. They knew what we was doing, bro. Mm-mm.
Yeah. And that's a big thing right there because you comparing the both locations, the urban to the suburban, and you would think the suburban life would be more freedom because they feel more safe in those areas. So you would think that you'll be like, yo, go ahead, ride your bike. Like right now, like I'll tell Jay, you can ride around the community. I don't have a problem with it. I wouldn't let him do that in Jersey City though. So,
Yeah.
I feel the opposite. I feel more freedom over
Hmm.
here than over in Jersey City because I damn sure wouldn't let him ride the bike like I let him do now in Jersey City. Like I would damn sure, no, you ain't going out
Yeah.
nowhere. You know what I mean?
And that's
I'm gonna tell you
because
why though.
that's because you knew because you did it. You know what I mean? And it's like, nah, nigga, you ain't doing it. And you're not as street smart as I was, so you can't
Yeah.
handle that. You st- like so, yeah, nah, it's yeah, nah, it was just it's just a funny thing right there because like it's the same thing. My son like he got little friends that they ride around like yeah you good, but still when I grew up at hell no no, but yeah it's interesting. But that's me though. But like, but my wife, she's not okay with that. You know what I mean? Like she didn't, want him to be judged. She worried about everything. But I had so much, like a lot of things I had to try to like kind of convince her to just to like kind of relax on. They gotta kind of have these experiences. You know what I mean? Well, we'll watch it, unlike how we wasn't getting watched, but we'll watch it. You know what I mean? And see what happens. But man, I think all in all, I think we doing good, man. We doing good, and there's gonna be challenges. There's gonna be things that we face as we get older, and we talk to each other about these things, man. You know what I mean? I got a daughter. She about to get ready. She in senior year. She's about to get ready to go to college. That's gonna be a whole different experience right there. You know what I mean? And like I know there's gonna be some things I'm gonna be like, kind of paranoid about and worried about. I get worried thinking about some of that stuff. You know what I mean? And it's it's things we're gonna have to deal with, man. You know what I mean? So we doing what we need to do. We doing a good job.
Ms. Nelson, you have something to add?
No, man, I do believe we're doing a great job. I think we are really, really putting forth a good effort to be good fathers. So I'm proud of my group of friends and fathers that are close to me, man, and being able to bounce off ideas and talk about the things that we go through, man, and really give back some good feedback. So I'm happy about my circle.
Hmm. Right, right, right.
Eh, I think that's key right there. You know what I mean? I say that for all men who are just not fathers, but just, have a good circle of people that you can sit down and talk to and bounce ideas off of because I think that helped us a lot, just knowing that we're not alone in our issues. We're able to give each other advice and point each other in the right direction to tackle some of these issues because our issues, man, if we ain't have each other, I don't know what we would decide to do. You know what I mean? We might be making the wrong decision if we ain't have our little round
Hmm.
tables and talk to each other, man. And I think that's key for our mental health. I think we might have saved each other a bunch of times from a lot of issues, man. So, what I mean, definitely is a blessing to have you guys around and to just use our own little experiences and little expertise that we do have to put ourselves in the right direction, man. Because Lord knows, man, with a 19-year-old, a 14-year-old, and a 12-year-old, you see, I ain't got no hair. So, you know what I mean? Shit is crazy out
You
there,
was losing
man.
that way before you had kids, though.
Well, that's another thing. That little bit I have left is gone.
You had that fine baby hair, man. You you had a nice texture.
And you know what? Nah, nah, nah. You know what? And see, this might be a perfect segue, man, because I meant to ask y'all this. You know what I mean? I meant to let's talk about this here, man. Why is it so hard for men, pause on that, to let it go, man? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? We got the yeah, and I started losing mine at 18. So it wasn't, you know what I mean? I started doing rocking the low cuts. Why is it so difficult for that? Because you know what I mean? I was working the other day and I'm seeing these guys walking around and it's all different
Mhm.
races, you know what I mean? They rocking the moon cut, half moon all day long, and they don't care. They have no care in the
See,
world, man. They out there straight George Jefferson, and they just chilling. You know what I mean? And they okay with it.
yeah, man,
Why is it so difficult to let it go?
I think hair because hair can age you, man. And whether you talk about receding hairlines, whether you talk about going gray, whether you talk about whatever it ain't. And I think for a lot of men, that's a fear is aging, being old. You know what I mean? Whether it's being old, still thinking they can still get some young chick, they're feeling old, still thinking they can hang and do something with the young fellas, whatever. No, men don't want to feel old sometimes or whatever. So, like, when these things are starting to go, you try to hang on as best you can. And then on the other part of it all, like when you say like let it go, get a baldy. See now, pause. Like and this is all pre-pause comments right here. You know what I mean? You
Oh yeah,
got
yeah.
you gotta damn, this is a tough pause right here. But you got a nice shaped head, pause. You know what I mean? Like pause is round, it's right there.
Oh my
It ain't no
God.
feature.
Oh
It
my.
ain't no wrong features in there. You know what I mean? Some people got the dents, the hooks, the all that. So it's like, yo, you can't just go get a baldy, your hair shape fucked up. Pause. So it's tough. You know what I mean? So like, I know, yo, because I'm starting because it's about to go for me soon. You know what I mean? I think I was talking to my brother about this. I think I got about like 2 more years, man. And then it's over for me, man. I'm gonna because my shit's starting to go back. I'm starting to get it in the middle of my head and shit like that. So I ain't got that much time left, man. And I ain't got the greatest shape head, pause. So yeah, man, it's gonna be rough for me, man. I can't y'all got great shape heads, pause. You know what I mean? Like no,
Oh,
it's
you
for
keep
me,
going. You
ooh, I'm
keep
gonna be giving
going.
out faces. But
When it was my time, man, it was easy for me, bro. It was easy to just say, yo, it's a wrap because the hair started looking a mess. You got patches and everything. So for me, I was like, yo, it's a wrap, bro. I'm not doing this. I just couldn't afford to do it no more.
Yo, and it's crazy with the dudes that's holding on to their life, man. They just combing a couple strands, this and that. I'm like, yo, this one dude, yo, he had the full George Jefferson, man. I'm like, and you got the moon with the sunroof at the top.
yeah,
I'm like, yo, what is going on, man?
yeah,
What are we doing
it's
out
tough,
here, man?
man.
Because you trying to hold on, but you looking even more crazier just walking around looking like this. You
Delusion
know
is
what I mean? And then
delusion
I
is the
think,
thing, man. You know, convince yourself that this is better than the alternative. You know what I mean?
oh,
And like, listen, well, I still got a hairline. I'm holding on. It ain't at a critical stage yet. It ain't at Stephen A. stage, but man, I got about 2 more years, I think, man.
but see, the thing is, at least it's the hairline. These dudes already
Yeah,
lost that.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I
yeah, yeah, yeah.
mean? They already got the retractable
They
roof
got
going on. That
they
shit
got
gone,
they
man.
start
You know
getting
what
the
I mean?
McDonald art. They start getting the Vegeta. Then it's
And they just, and you know what I mean? I guess these dudes are businessmen and stuff like that. Because it's a lot of dudes with status and money, and they still walking around like this. So I guess when you got money, you just don't give a hell. But I'm like, yo, when I was losing my, I just couldn't rock that, man. You know what I mean? It's not for me, man. Man, I just cut it down. I was like, man, I did the Tony Dungy. Nah, this gotta go.
The Tony Dungy.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Tony Dungy stayed with the low cut, and he got the half moon. I'm like, man, just cut that off, man. I don't know what you're doing, but I'll call a little bit of Jason Statham too, a little bit of Jason Statham, 5 o'clock shadow all the way around. Pause, but you know, I mean, you gotta let that go,
Everybody
man.
mentioning
Men,
his jig, so I mean, I guess you could say all those it's cool.
are they really?
He done the champion. He's a
Yeah,
championship coach. And Jason Statham,
they walk around.
great movies he done put out.
People walk around and don't know who Tony Dungy is.
We do. Uh,
No, of course. Of course. Yeah. Yeah, of course.
oh man.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, but you know what I mean, what else we got here? You know what I mean? Let's switch it up. I
Let's
know
run through
let's get we
some
just
of this
talked about
sports stuff, man. I mean, we got the
will
NBA
not
Cup,
come
right?
out. Yeah. NBA Cup
Finals, man. The
was
finals are
Saturday
set up,
night.
man.
Yeah, the Saturday night, the Knicks won and the Spurs won. And Tuesday, we got the matchup going in back in Vegas. What do you got, Sue?
So
Who
my
you
wife
got?
asked me a question. She said, "If the Knicks win, you think they're gonna throw a parade?" As the eye started dying, I said, "Yo, man." I was like, "Nah." I said, "Yo, I don't think they're gonna throw no damn parade." I said, "But they're gonna be acting up." And that's a damn thing for sure. They'll be acting up in there, man. Now, I mean, look, man. I think that's gonna be a tall task, pause for the Knicks, man. That's gonna be a lot to deal with, pause, because they are athletic and long pause team that that's going to create a lot of defensive problems, man. And I'm talking about this Spurs team without even and just leave Wimby out of it first. You know what I mean? Just talk about the
Yeah,
Spurs as
yeah.
is. And all them this athletic wings that they got, and the guard play, the youth on the team, and then they're playing with confidence. They got some vets on there, Harrison Barnes. They got a nice blend. That team is they they're good. And now then you add this the alien, Victor Wembanyama, the 7'5" freaking two guard, that's just out here just doing what the hell he want. He on a minute restriction, but he still find a way to dominate that game. You know what I mean? And it's just like
Yeah.
the one issue that he had was his strength and his body, and he done bulked up this year, and he bullying. He finessing, whatever way you want, he give it to you, pause. And that's gonna be a lot to deal with the Knicks, and they deep, pause. So like all the different things that they are, the Knicks gonna have to deal with, and the Knicks is pretty predictable in what they've done. You know what I mean? When all else fails, it's Jalen Brunson. I think they're gonna know that, and they're gonna just throw a lot at him, man. And it's gonna be they're gonna make Carl Anthony Towns and Mikal Bridges and OG beat us. I would have loved to have Deuce McBride for that game, but he ain't gonna be there. So I don't know. That's gonna be a tall task. You ask me who I got. I would love for the Knicks to win.
Yeah, we
I
got
think the Spurs gonna beat the Knicks, and they're gonna kind of beat them easily. And I don't feel good saying that,
mm,
but that's what I think gonna happen.
mm.
Can I jump in a little bit
Go
here?
ahead.
You know, being a Knicks fan and being disappointed so many times in my life, I would actually be excited about this little win. You know what I mean? I would totally be excited. Um, from the little bit that I've been watching of the Knicks, we play with a lot of heart. We may not be the most talented team. We may not be the fastest or the biggest, but we look like we play with a lot of heart and a chip on our shoulders. So that I think alone will make it a good game. You know what I mean? We're not going to get smoked, but I think just how they play keeps them in the game.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with I'm going with the Knicks to win.
Mm.
Victor brings them a lot of new energy. You know what I mean? I think he brought them that energy that they really believe that they can beat OKC. Because, you know, what I mean, I'm pretty sure they didn't think it at first, but when he showed up to play, their energy changed big time. With him there, I need Mitch to step up big time and play the best defense that he can play. I need Cat to be more aggressive. See if you can get him in foul trouble without him getting in foul trouble, because Cat attracts more fouls than anything. But the thing is that when we played the Magic did a lot of running, and I can see the Spurs doing a lot of running. So we gotta be on top of that with the transition defense, because I can see them dudes, and I like Dylan Harper too. Dylan Harper's tough, but you got the fast ass backcourt, and they can move. So we just need to be there and do a lot of defense. Let Jalen Brunson gonna have to do what he do. Hopefully he can get these younger guards into foul trouble, and by baiting them doing the things that he do. Hart, you know what I mean, need him, but I would love to have McBride there. I don't think he's gonna be able
Oh,
to
no,
play. He took the
yeah.
trip. You know what I mean? He took the trip. You know what I mean, but we probably won't see him for like another week. So, you know what I mean, I would like to see I would like to know what's going on with Shamit. You know what I mean? How long he gonna be out? They never really gave a timetable on how long he's gonna be out. But he looked good and when they showed him in practice. So, but I see the Knicks taking it. It's gonna be a close game, but I think we'll get the win. I don't think we're gonna go crazy or nothing like that. But New York is gonna talk shit though. You know that for sure. They're gonna have that.
The Knicks will go
Yeah,
crazy,
yeah,
bro. The Knicks will
yeah,
go
yeah.
crazy. That's that. If we win that, bro, the city's gonna be crazy, bro.
Nah.
Nuts.
I agree with you 100% on that one, Mr. Nelson. If the Knicks win that, I'm not saying it's gonna be a parade. Ain't nobody gonna do that, but they're gonna go
Nah,
crazy.
nah.
They're gonna go crazy, and the Knicks they're gonna go crazy. Like they're gonna be acting silly just because they won that BS. But I think with Deuce and Shamit, we're not gonna see them till 2026. Probably sometime in January. Uh, I think Deuce he had a high ankle sprain,
Yeah,
and
a high ankle sprain. Yep.
yeah, yeah. So they're not gonna bring him back until like after the break, I think, which is fine. You know what I
Yeah, our
mean?
next game is Charlotte on Thursday after the cup.
So
So
I don't know how
he
many
could
more
sit out
games we
again.
got left in December, but if we got less than two or three, then we ain't seeing them. But yeah, man, they gonna act up. We're gonna see all the memes. We're gonna see them out there. And we're gonna see them in front of the garden. They probably gonna have some type of. I'm pretty sure they're gonna have some type of watch party at the garden. Yeah, yeah.
Without a
So
Yeah, yeah,
doubt.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
they're
yeah.
gonna file in there, and it's gonna be mad Knicks fans in Vegas, man. It's gonna be mad Knicks fans in Vegas, like so, because Knicks fans travel. Knicks and Lakers they travel, so and Boston. So yeah, it's gonna.
We may need to go out there and we may need to go out there and broadcast from out there. That's what we may need to.
Hey, listen now,
You know
now we
what
talking. Now we
I'm
talking. That's a nice business
Yeah.
trip.
saying?
Are we really?
Yeah, I think that's something that we may
And
need to
now we
do.
talking.
Are we really going to be talking about Vegas? Are we really going to be talking about Vegas?
Hey man, that's a nice trip right there. That's a nice trip.
Are we really going to be talking about Vegas part two? Huh?
Here
Huh?
we go.
There's no need, sir.
There's
Sir,
no
there's no
need,
need, sir.
sir. There's no need.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I damn sure don't want to talk about Vegas there, buddy.
Oh, it makes you jig, buddy.
Yeah. Is it? Is it? Talking about Vegas, huh? Yeah, that's what we're going to say that for Patreon or something like that.
Oh man.
What else we got
Uh,
next? Your boy, shoot, we was talking about basketball. Let's hit the football. Pat Mahomes, man, he tore his ACL. And they got eliminated from the playoffs today. So it's double whammy today for KC.
I think that's huge, man. I think oh well, huge from the standpoint of that KC has had the league on choke for about The first since the first year that Pat Mahomes started. I mean, he came in late on his
Yeah.
rookie year. Then after that, they kind of had the league in a choke, man. And whether they was making deep playoff runs or winning Super Bowls, they they been the cream of the crop, and we kind of started to see the fall off happen. Now, I don't think this is a full fall off that they're about to be some bottom dwelling team going forward. They had to have a down year. It happened during the Patriots run. They had a down year. You know what I mean? Like, so they had to have a down year at some point. I think they're gonna retool. I think next year they're not gonna be good because Pat Mahomes isn't gonna be there, and they still it's a lot of money tied up. But you figure Kelsey's definitely gonna retire now. You know what I mean? He's done because he not gonna play a year without Pat Mahomes. So he's done. He about to go make sure he about to go knock up Taylor Swift, and so he's good. They're gonna have, it's going. They're gonna have to retool up, man. Start drafting right, and build their team back up. And I think not next year, but the year after that, they'll start. They'll start showing something. They'll start being back to themselves, which the faces be energized. Because think about it. The team, the core of that team, they've had deep playoff runs for years. They're tired, man. They're tired. They need a break. Pat need a break, man. So they'll be all right. They're gonna take a little break. They'll be back in about a year and a half.
Shoot, I know one thing. What I mean, well wishes for him to get for speedy
Right, right.
recovery. But damn them Chiefs. Damn them Chiefs. I'm glad they not there. Glad they got eliminated. As Bronco fans say, see you later. Well, I don't want to hear nothing. You know what I mean? We finally, that's our rival. So they've been whooping our tail for the longest pause, man, and we tired of it. And we are actually,
Yeah, I beat
been
them this year.
getting better. So we're gonna win the division this year. So that's a good thing. But good riddance.
I
That's all I got.
I think that
You know what I mean? Damn good
I
riddance.
think that opens up something that hasn't been opened up in years. And what I'm talking about is the fact that, like, even though they wasn't having a great year, they were still in the hunt. And I know I'm one of them. A lot of people thought that if they got in, it didn't matter how they got there, but if they got in the playoffs, they was gonna make a run. But them not get now
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
guaranteed that they're
100%.
not gonna be there. That's wide open in the AFC on who's gonna get there
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
the two teams that stand at the top of the AFC is Denver and what's your faces New England,
Patriots.
and nobody saw
Patriots.
that.
Yeah.
Nobody saw that. So it's just like who really gonna do what? Because you still got Josh Allen who's out there. You still got so Philip Rivers, man. He done came back through a TD today, man. I don't know what's gonna be the end result of them Colts, but he got a game under his belt, so that he might get hot at the right time. Who knows, man? But nah, that thing is wide open. The AFC, man.
Man. You got anything, Mr. Nelson? On the Chiefs?
My Giants lost. That's all I want to talk about, man. I don't care about the Chiefs. I don't care about the Bears. I don't care about uh, 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 Denver Broncos. I don't care about none of this, man. I just don't. In my fantasy, I'm number one. You know what I mean? I had the bye this week in my fantasy, so next week I got to get ready for next week. But you know what I mean? I really don't care. I don't care. I really don't. Like
Hey,
that's
man,
just how I feel about it, bro. It's
Giants
just
gonna be all right next year, man. They're gonna be all right next year. Like Jackson Dart, he legit. I think Jackson legit, and Scatterboo, I think he legit. You know what I mean? Malik Neighbors, I think he legit. You know what I mean? So you got three blue chippers on offense at skill positions. Now you're gonna have to fill in the rest. You're gonna have to get that offensive line right. You're gonna have to get another weapon on the outside. You know what I mean? I think your defense is gonna be good. So you ain't got to kind of mess with that too much. Maybe get some defensive backs, that protect the secondary. Uh, yeah, I ain't that far away, man. I think Giants gonna be good. My wife a Giants fan,
here's the
so I was
problem though, shoot.
go ahead.
problem is not the fact that if we're going to be good or not. The problem is our management. If our management is going to make the right decisions during the off season to make sure we bring in the right pieces to add to what you're talking about, that's where I don't have the faith in. Because if you go out and hire another bum coach or another, you know, the GM or whatever, no, you're back at the same thing. It doesn't matter who you have on the field because your
Mhm,
management, your coaching.
mhm.
If that sucks,
Yeah,
it's a wrap.
Now,
yeah.
let me ask you this, Mr. Nelson. Let me ask you, with y'all right now, y'all have the number one pick. If the season ended today, y'all will pick number one. Who would you want on the Giants for next year?
All right,
Well, assuming that
what am I?
you wouldn't have to know who's in the college football, but what's your greatest
Yeah,
need
yeah,
of position right now?
yeah.
Right. So you hit it right on the head, Stu. Our O line. We need to attack the O line first. So whatever who the first available lineman, that's
Mhm.
the best alignment that's available. That's who we should be grabbing.
I like it. I like it. You need an O line to. I always say that too. O line is the most important part of the offense. Period. So if you have a decent O line that can protect your quarterback, give him just enough time to get set and go through his reads, you got gold right there. You know what I mean? A lot of teams still don't understand that for some reason. I just don't understand. Like, look at Cincinnati. You know what I mean? Joe Burrow went through so much. He's getting hurt all the time just because the line is terrible. I don't
Well, the
understand why they
issue
won't
the,
fix
the
that.
issue is because the issue they got is that they got a quarterback and two receivers that's taking up all their damn money. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
you gotta be able to kinda strike when during that quarterback's rookie year, rookie contract. That's what Chiefs did. You know what I mean? Better win some when you can, because once you gotta pay that quarterback, I mean, it's gonna be tough to get the right players and fill up some of these spots, man. You know what I mean? The Bears was able
but
to
that's
do that
the
in the offseason and get the offensive line right, and that's what's helping they turn around. So you got that's what helped Detroit's turn around a couple years ago. So you gotta build in the trenches.
but that was the problem with Cincinnati. Even when he was a rookie, they never took advantage of the rookie contract. You know what I mean? They never put anybody in there
Well, they went
that
to the
will
Super
help him
Bowl.
out while he was. Well, they got lucky with that. You know what I mean? But then they start off the season every they started off every season in the negative. You know what I'm saying? They never start off strong. They always have to come back in the second part of the season just to get into the playoffs, and they fighting just to get in the playoffs. And then when they get there, just like like we just talking about the Chiefs, they work their way up to the top. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Joe Burrows is legit, so he can work his way. But why work so hard every year when you can address these issues early and you can start off good and be in cruise control? You know what I'm saying? But it's always that same situation when it comes down to these NFL teams. They just don't put the pieces in the right places. You know what I mean?
Let me ask y'all something.
Yeah.
Uh, I was looking at the Chiefs game. I think it was last week, and I saw that. I don't think they got the best line. I never thought that. I thought
No.
that Mahomes was just a great quarterback that made the line look halfway, like it was something. But it felt like they really didn't have a great line, but they were able to still do what they did with all these years and still dominate.
They did
So is it really the line?
during their run when they was, when they did have a decent line. They had, Joe Tooney, they had, a couple other guys that was on and he's on the Bears now. That was pretty good. And then last year they had a bunch of injuries and they had to move some people in the wrong, different positions in the offensive line. But this year they ain't have it, you know what I mean? And on both sides of the ball on the line. Then you had Pat Mahomes, running around for his life in the Super Bowl because he ain't had no line, what I mean, because of those injuries and things like that. And they start off the year like that. I don't know. They're gonna have to fix it. They're gonna have a year and a half to fix it. They're gonna literally have a year and a half to fix it. because Pat ain't playing next year. He had an ACL. He tore his ACL at the end of the season. Uh, I'm gonna assume that they're gonna start the year off pretty bad. So even if he can come back in the middle of the season, if they're already like 2-7, he's not gonna come back to that. I wouldn't. You know what I
No.
mean? So like he might as well just sit back, take the year off, get better, get healthy, let the team work on some stuff, draft, and he'll be ready to go in 2027 or 28, whatever
Yeah,
year
yeah,
is gonna
yeah.
be, and go from there, man. It is what it is. And then Jackson Dart gonna take over, man.
What's the
Jackson
time
Dart and Bo
frame on the
Nix.
ACL?
Uh,
ACL's usually like
time frame on the
it's usually like 6 to 9, right?
yeah.
6 to
Dude's
9.
been
I,
coming
I would
back
say it's
quicker
60.
now.
Yeah, I would say it's like 6 to 9 if you trying to come back. He got hurt at the end of the season, so it's definitely gonna overlap into training camp and preseason and stuff like that. And then you want to ramp up and all that. So my thought is that I don't know who the hell their backup quarterback is. You know what I mean?
Gardner Mitchell.
Gardner Minshew. So they not going to start
Yeah.
next year with Gardner Minshew. You know what I mean? They're not going to draft a quarterback. They're not going to do that. So they're going to pick some type of quarterback that's on the free agent market. You know what I mean? Some backup and go from there. And my thing is that if they don't, yeah, like I just think that they're gonna take it. They're just gonna chill. They ain't gonna do nothing with that team, man. He not coming back. There's no need for him to rush.
Now, my thing is, since everybody know this is going to be a down year next year, does Andy Reid retire?
If he was looking for a way to get out, this is it.
Yeah,
People
because
like
that's what I was thinking. Maybe
coaches like Andy Reid though, man. They trying they about to they gonna die doing this shit, man. They gonna do it
well, yeah,
to
because
their health fail them. Greg
yeah,
Popovich.
I mentioned it because the last two seasons, he was talking about retirement.
You gonna see Kelsey retire. That him blowing his knee out has made some decisions for a couple people on that damn team. It's probably going to be 50-50 with Kelsey. There's no way in hell he's starting next year. He's playing next year without Pat Mahomes. So he is done. So now you got Andy Reid. Do he say, all right, I'm going to go into next year without Pat Mahomes and without Jason Kelsey? Travis Kelsey? Probably not. So Matt Nagy probably going to be getting ready to take over.
Well, what I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? FKC, good riddance, and I'm happy they're gone. When I see our king, I'm gonna make sure I tell him to get out of here. You know what I mean? Because I'm tired of hearing his mouth. Even though he's been kind of quiet lately. He's the only KC fan that I know. But damn him, damn the Chiefs. You know what I mean? But let's move on from football. A little bit of John Cena. He did his last match. So you seen it?
I seen it, man. I'm a wrestling guy, man. I said it in the pod before, man. The early iterations of wrestling from the '80s, the golden years in the '80s, not early, early '90s, 2000s, and that's when John Cena came on there, man, the 2000s, and he did well throughout the years, kind of carried the company on his back for a long time, and now he finally kind of retired. Well, ain't no kind of about it. This is a retire. This is different. This is a different kind of retirement for wrestling because all the greats have retired from wrestling, but they always kind of came back. His whole thing was that I'm going to retire. When I say I retire, this will be my last match. There will be no comeback. There will be no, oh, I'm going to come back for WrestleMania out the blue and then get in the ring and do this. He said, no, once he leaves this match, he will never come back to the ring. You know what I mean? So it was different. And it kind of left a bad taste in people's mouths the way it ended. Because he fought Gunther. I mean, if you into wrestling, you know who it is. The ring general Gunther, and he got tapped out. He's put in the sleeper or whatever. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people wanted him to win on his way out, and they wanted that moment, the cheer and all that stuff. But he lost, and he lost by tap out. I think that was like the first time he got tapped out in I don't know how long, in years or whatever. So they made a big deal about that, but it is what it is. We all know, wrestling is choreographed, and I'm not gonna call it fake. I'm just gonna say it's choreographed, and they predetermined what was what, so they knew what that was gonna be before it ended. And the writers said this how we wanted to end. John Cena had to co-sign it because they wasn't gonna do nothing that he didn't want done. So the thing is when you wrestle your last match, you're supposed to pass the torch. That's why they didn't want it to be Gunther, because they're like, who we pass the torch to him? They wanted to make that last match to be something different, to where if he fighting somebody who's active, they gotta let him he gotta let him win, because he's still carrying on the franchise. That's why they wanted to be somebody else that, he was talking about Edge. They was talking about other people who it could have been. I don't know. Shout out to John Cena. Great career. He not on my Mount Rushmore, but he a great nonetheless. Yeah, shout out to him.
So who is
Oh,
on your
Man,
Mount
oh man.
Rushmore?
Oof.
uh-oh.
Ooh, I don't know. I have my favorite wrestlers, and then I have the ones who I know is greats. My favorite wrestlers, I'm not gonna put them on my Mount Rushmore, but I mean, if God, you got to go Stone Cold, you got to go Hogan, um, and then I think you got to start with Stone Cold and Hogan, but then after that, it's so many places you can go. You can go Rock. I'm okay with putting Rock on my Mount Rushmore. The thing that people have an issue with Rock is that his longevity isn't what some of those other people that's going to be on there. He's been around the company for a long time, for years. He's still kind of involved now, but his actual in ring years is not as long as a lot of this, because he took plenty of years off, because when he started acting, he was in and out the company or whatever. So I don't know, but what he brought to what he did for the company, his popularity, it just superseded so many people on there, and he did it during the company's highest, the highest, the Attitude Era, where they was at their peak. So between him and Stone Cold, you got to kind of put him in there. So Rock, Stone Cold, Hogan, and then that last one, man, that's the tricky one, man. You can go Undertaker, you can go Shawn Michaels, you can go John Cena, and not have an argument with it. But I think for me, that fourth one, I'll go Ric Flair.
Okay, I was about to say, man, if he don't put Ric Flair on this thing,
I
something
I
wrong.
I go Ric
I
Flair.
I, I almost was about to say, bro, I'm about to take away your WrestleMania card because there's no way you don't have a Ric Flair on this thing, man.
Rick not one of my
Ric Flair was
favorites.
amazing.
Rick not one of my favorites, but he is one of the greatest though.
Gotcha.
I know for John Cena, you know what I mean, I know this is his last match and he's retiring. I think this is he's moving on to the next phase of his career, which is acting. And he's been doing a really good job with that. You know what I mean? He's getting a lot of traction with that. And the shows, I love
I
Peacemaker.
just finished it the
That
other
show had
day,
me
man.
dying. Oh
Peacemaker good.
man, yo, that was hilarious, yo. And
Thank you for
that
putting me
and
on Peacemaker, because I saw it. I ain't want to give it a chance, but y'all said it was good. I was like, all right, let me mess with it.
yo, it was
Hilarious,
hilarious, man, because it was
hilarious,
always doing something stupid.
hilarious, yo. He's stupid as hell, yo.
That's what I said. And then Peacemaker was the one. I was like, yo, this is it right here, man. John Cena got a home with
Yeah,
DC,
yeah.
man. He's hilarious. But, what I mean, his wrestling style, what I mean, I enjoyed it. The matches I did watch. I'm not a big wrestling fan like that, like I used to be back in the day. But, what I mean, he was a staple in with WWE. So give him a nice shout out, you know what I mean, and much success to his new career, which he already got success, you know what I mean. He's a people person. You see him walking the streets and just interacting with the people with no problem. He don't even walk around with security, yo. So, you know what I mean? He's a real one,
Mhm.
man. Shout out to John Cena. But let's see here. What else we got left? Oh, we got
I mean, I don't know, man. Only thing that I know that we had was that that incident in Brown University. I don't know if y'all wanted to touch on that.
yeah, we can touch on it and pause. We can close out with that, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Let's see here. Uh, I want to get the particulars on that one just in case. All right. So this happened when this happened yesterday?
Or we could just we could hold that for the next pod, man. We can
You want to hold it
yeah,
for
let's
the
hold
next
it for the
one?
next one, man.
All right. All right. So
There's
yeah.
a lot going on about this because there was one in Australia just I think today or
Mm.
yesterday, another mass shooting. So there's a couple
So
going on
yeah,
right now
yeah. So
actually. So you may want to put all that at
yeah,
one
good, good.
show.
All right, cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll do that. You know what I mean? It was a great conversation today, fellas. You know what I mean? We did talk about a lot of things. I think the most vital thing was the fatherhood conversation was very good and very brought some memories back then, you know what I mean, when the kids are small and now they're old and in college and all this other stuff. Shows a lot of good work that we put in, man. So I definitely appreciate the conversation, man. A very good topic today. And I know the people will like it, man. So, it was good to have you on, Mr. Nelson. You know what I mean? Don't be a stranger, man. You gotta
Yeah,
do this
man.
again, man.
Anytime,
You know.
anytime y'all want me back, man, I'll be back, brother.
Hey man, that means you're gonna have to watch a little bit of sports too, you know.
Yeah.
We got the Knicks, man. We got the Knicks. We got the Knicks.
I can watch that. I can watch that. I can watch that. But
But until
if it ain't a part of my fantasy, it's a wrap.
Pause.
hey, gotta do something, man. We gotta keep the people engaged. But this was episode 14 of Off the Parkway podcast. We see you when you see you. On until next one.